Diplomacy will only be strong with strong frontline positions, stated President Zelenskyy in his evening address. He stressed that Ukraine is doing everything to ensure that its frontline needs are met. Zelenskyy also said that the Ukrainian Minister of Defense reported on meetings he had with partners concerning new aid packages.
Польща готує пакети підтримки.
Poland is preparing support packages and continues its participation in the Czech initiative for ammunition. Germany, we expect an expedited delivery of IRIS-T air defense systems and ammunition for them. The European Union, we are working at the level of EU institutions to cover existing supply shortages. The Netherlands, there is readiness to continue investing in weapons production. In Ukraine, the Nordic and Baltic states, there is full support, and this means new packages, new investments in weapons production, new political initiatives that will strengthen us all, both Ukraine and Europe. I would like to thank all partners.
Zelenskyy also underlined that Ukraine will continue to bring peace closer. On Monday, he will meet with the Saudi Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia. Later this week, the Ukrainians and US team are also meeting in the Saudi Kingdom for talks. Russia launched a ballistic missile strike on the city of Dobropillia in the Donetsk region, killing at least 11 people and wounding around 50 civilians, 7 children among them, reported the State Emergency Service of Ukraine. According to a police statement, Russian forces used a combined strike of a ballistic Iskander-M rocket, a Tornado-S multiple-launch rocket system, as well as a Shahed-type suicide drone to strike a residential area of 5-story buildings, also destroying a trade center and damaging 30 cars.
We stormed out of the building. We live on the 5th floor over here. People died here, you know? Our 2 neighbors and the woman from the 3rd flat in the 4th entrance. It's horrific, my God, it's horrifying.
Loud explosions were heard in Russia's Samara region as drones attacked the Novolipetsk oil refinery in the early hours of Monday. Telegram channels reported that a fire had broken out at the site. Local authorities, however, stated that 3 UAVs were eliminated and no damage was recorded. The Novolipetsk oil refinery is part of the Rosneft group. The head of the Ukrainian Center for Countering Disinformation, Daniel reported that the facility has a capacity of 8.8 million tons of oil per year, making it one of the 10 largest in Russia. It produces a wide range of petroleum products, including gasoline, diesel fuel, and fuel oil. The refinery is strategically important to the Russian army, ensuring a stable supply of fuel for Moscow's military operations. Russian industrial facilities, including an oil refinery and a steel plant, were targeted by drones on March 9th. In Russia's Ryazan region, local residents reported hearing multiple explosions near the Ryazan oil refinery, while the local governor stated that air defense systems had intercepted an aerial threat, claiming that no industrial infrastructure was damaged. However, heat anomalies detected by NASA's monitoring system suggest the possibility of fires on site. In the Lipetsk region, Russian media sources indicated that the Novolipetsk metallurgical plant was among the possible targets on March 9th. The local governor confirmed the presence of UAVs, with residents in Lipetsk reporting multiple explosions. The plant is one of Russia's largest metallurgical enterprises and, according to Ukraine's Center for Countering Disinformation, produces steel and rolled metal used in military vehicles, armored equipment, shipbuilding, and aviation. Additionally, UAV activity was reported by local witnesses near fuel distilleries and oil refineries in the Voronezh, Nizhny Novgorod, and Kursk regions. Russian forces launched a drone strike on a meatpacking plant in the Kharkiv region, killing at least 3 on Friday night, reported the State Emergency Service. According to the service, the Russian drone strike engulfed 2,000 square meters of the site in flames, ruining the production halls and wounding 7 workers. According to the regional prosecutor's office statement, 3 workers of the plant were identified after their bodies were pulled from the fire. They were aged 39, 41, and 54, and were ordinary civilian workers. The statement underlines that there were no military targets in the vicinity of the plant. Russia launched 1,200 glide bombs, almost 870 suicide drones, and more than 80 missiles of various types on Ukraine last week, wrote President Zelenskyy on Telegram. He noted that components for every Shahed and aerial bomb used by Kremlin's troops arrive in Russia by circumventing worldwide sanctions. The weaponry used in these strikes feature over 82,000 foreign parts, said Zelenskyy, Despite everything, he stated that Ukraine continues working on the supply of anti-air systems, investing in the national defense sector, and enforcing sanctions on Russia. Russia, Iran, and China are set to conduct a joint maritime security belt 2025 exercise off Iran's southern coast. The training will involve warships, combat vessels, and support ships from the Chinese and Russian navies, along with Iran's regular naval forces and the Revolutionary Guard's fleet. The fifth naval drills are taking place in the port of Chabahar, located in Iran's Oman Gulf region. The official purpose of the exercise is to enhance regional security and expand multilateral cooperation among the participating nations. During the drills, Russian, Iranian, and Chinese forces plan to practice counter-piracy operations, counterterrorism measures, and maritime search and rescue coordination. Ukrainian defenders destroyed a Russian OSA surface-to-air missile system in the Vuhledar direction, weakening Russia's ability to defend its positions against aerial threats. The precise strike was carried out by operators of the 413th Raid Battalion of the Unmanned Systems Forces. According to their statement, the OSA air defense system is a short-range mobile platform designed to protect military units and strategic facilities from aircraft, cruise missiles, and unmanned aerial vehicles. Its cost is reportedly around $10 million. Ukraine has signed a memorandum with Diehl Defense, a German manufacturer of the Iris-T air defense system. This will account for a threefold increase in the supply of missiles and anti-air systems, wrote the Ukrainian Minister of Defense Rustam Umerov on his Facebook page on Sunday. Umerov also noted that protecting Ukraine's skies and cities is of the utmost priority. In his own words, the signed deal paves the way for major industrial projects that will enhance the capabilities of our air defense. France will provide Ukraine with 195 million euros in aid using proceeds generated from frozen Russian assets. This was reported by the French Minister of the Armed Forces, Sébastien Lecornu. In an interview with La Tribune Dimanche, he noted that these funds, in particular, will be used to supply Kyiv with 155mm shells, as well as AASM bombs, compatible with French Mirage 2000 fighter jets, which were delivered earlier. France will also accelerate the transfer of AMX-10RC light tanks and VAB armored personnel carriers. U.S. President Trump expects good results from talks between U.S. and Ukrainian delegations in Saudi Arabia this week. He stated this while speaking to journalists aboard Air Force One on Sunday.
We're looking at a lot of things. We have big meetings coming up, as you know, in Saudi Arabia. Let's see what happens with the whole Russia-Ukraine thing. I think you're going to have eventually, and maybe not in the distant future, you're going to have some pretty good results coming out of Saudi Arabia this week.
Trump was also asked whether he will consider lifting the pause on intelligence sharing with Ukraine.
Well, we just about have. I mean, we really just about have. And we want to do anything we can to get Ukraine to be serious about getting something done.
The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will host the second Leaders Summit of the Coalition of Willing, reported The Guardian, citing a Downing Street spokesperson. It will be in a virtual format on Saturday after Ukraine-US talks in Saudi Arabia and European army chiefs meet in Paris later this week. The first summit took place in the beginning of March in London. Back then, the UK Prime Minister announced the development of the Coalition of the Willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee peace.